You know it's got to be a small scale crawler if I've got my glasses on. Welcome back to the Skilled Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. Today we're taking a first look, run, and backyard review of the new, what's this thing called? Of the new Redcat Ascent Apex. Here it is right here. You know I'm a big fan of the Ascent line of 18 scale crawlers. This is, of course, a custom Volvo one that I did on the Ascent 18 with a lot of upgraded parts. I do very much like this platform. It's very versatile, and it is a very excellent performing one as well. Of course, Redcat couldn't leave good enough alone, and have now introduced the new Ascent Apex High Steer Edition. And this is what you're looking at right here. This little guy is quite the performer. You can see right away that this was definitely geared towards those of us who are looking for a comp crawling experience in a smaller scale. It's very, very compy, and I have to say, very wide. Look at that track width. That is nuts. Let's get it up to this old regular Ascent 18. Gosh, look at that. That's wild. Look at how much wider this thing is. Both are on portal axles. Not anything new there, but what has changed is the amount of steering that this truck is capable of. It's a lot. Let me just give you a quick demonstration here. Oh my goodness gracious. That is a much stronger servo too. That is really nice. So portals have not always been great at steering. It's one of the disadvantages of a portal axle, but they've managed to somehow concoct a way to get a lot more steering out of this axle, and by making it much wider. There are a lot of benefits, of course, to portals. One of them, of course, is being able to crawl over an obstacle and not get that pumpkin caught on any of those obstacles in the way. That's why they probably went with them. But there are a lot of other big changes under the hood here, and we'll get to those in a second. But first things first, let's just take a look at how this truck looks. And you can see that they've gone for a very compy body, pinched and dovetailed. And as it comes out of the box, this bed is not on the truck. That is something that they have in the box for you to add afterwards. It's a pretty simple process to put it on there. And in fact, I much prefer it for a number of reasons that I will get into later. But it comes in this nice graphite sort of silver gray color. There's also a very shiny red version as well. They've got these crazy comp style tires on here. Look at these things. They're wild. Lots of lug spacing, not a lot of deep lugs. But certainly a much more compy looking tire than what came on the original Ascent 18. Oil-filled shocks, of course, you can see those under there, but a much more laid down kind of approach than on the original Ascent 18, because this is much more comp inspired. Plastic links, plastic sliders. There is a fair bit more plastic on this one. Of course, for the price that you're getting this for, that's not surprising. Let's take this body off, and I'll give you a little rundown on the whole chassis. How this body comes off is pretty interesting. There's a spring-loaded tab A, slot B scenario going on there. That slides up and off, and you just pull that forward and off the body comes. Like I said, it does come without the rear portion of the bed in the box, but I actually much prefer how it looks with the bed. However, now we're going to get into the chassis itself. And you can see this is a very comp-inspired chassis. Not a lot of actual chassis rail there. What there is, though, is carbon fiber. So Redcat has done us all a solid and given us an upgraded chassis right out of the box. This is a Hobbywing Mini 24 brushless setup that they've got in there. This is a 3500 kV brushless motor setup. It is capable and includes a 3S battery pack. This is a 200 milliamp hour 3S LiPo pack, and does a very nice job. It's a nice, smooth, very fast setup. It's geared quite high, so you will get a lot of wheel speed out of it. In terms of steering servo, this is a Hexfly 4 kilogram metal gear servo, so nice, reasonable amount of power at this size. Definitely moves those wheels nice and fast, which is great. Nice to see that. Not a lot of changes. I guess obviously the portals are substantially wider. You can see how much wider that portal axle is. This is obviously a whole new mold to get that extra length, so it's an entirely new set of axles. And the chassis layout is also quite new. It's not at all like the other one. So you can see that they've got the battery on the side, ESC on the other side, and then the receiver in the middle. So yeah, much more compy. As you can tell, most of the weight is placed over the front half of the vehicle. Adding to the value proposition of the Ascent Apex, these are metal beadlock wheels. So you're not locked into using these tires if you want to swap these out, although they do feel like they're going to work quite well. I'll also say that the foam in there feels pretty good as well. It does feel as if the wheel itself is vented. I can't see a vent hole anywhere, but I have to presume that maybe there's just enough distance between the two plates that air is allowed to escape. So that's really great to see that as well. Shocks do feel pretty good. It's a more comp shock, so it doesn't rebound quite as fast, which means there is oil in there, which is always great, even at this scale. Good to see that. Yeah, it's overall, it's a pretty interesting looking chassis, and I think that because it's built more for performance and less for scale, it's really going to shine on the rocks. And that's a good thing, because I just got a new haul of rocks outside. So we're going to go test this thing out on the rocks and see how it does, with live commentary and no music. This is a comp truck, not a scale truck. One thing to mention about that cab, when it is the cab only on the body, there are a set of body posts that are removable for when you obviously switch to the full body. But essentially what you do is you slide a very long, I have to find this, it's comical, it's hilarious. You have to slide this really long body clip between the two posts. Look at this thing. Ooh, look at this thing. It's crazy long. I've never seen a body clip quite like this. But this would slide through the back of the body here into two pins that would hold everything in place. And that's sort of how that worked. It was not super easy to get the body on and off. You had to kind of squeeze the body on the sides to let it kind of release from those body posts, even without the pin. And I didn't really like it. I didn't like how it looked, especially. So having the whole cab on there with this really nice spring-loaded pin system on the back made a lot more sense. And they include the instructions on how to do that in a standalone PDF. It might be in the full manual, I'm not too sure. The full manual isn't available to me until the truck is actually released, so I can't confirm or deny if those instructions are in there. But like I said, I much prefer how it looks with the full body. I think it's just, you know, it's nice to have something back there to complete the look. Along with the Ascent Apex in the box, you do get their RTX4C controller. This is a 4-channel radio, which is great. You can add lights and winch, perhaps, if winches are the thing that you're into. Feels pretty good in the hand and is easy to control one-handed. The AA batteries are not included, so you will have to supply those. But you also do, with the LiPo battery, you do get a 3S capable USB LiPo charger. They do include a selection of other plastic parts and some decals. There's also a bunch of body posts in there if you intend to run some other body. They do have setups available for that. So pretty good package right out of the box. And because it's got that brushless setup, you are going to get that really nice low end. I'm noticing a tiny little bit of cogging at very low end. I wonder if that's potentially because there might be some overdrive in this package. Not sure if there is. Again, it doesn't say anything on the box as to whether or not there is any overdrive, so my guess is that there is not. That's probably going to be something that you're going to be able to upgrade later on. However, one thing you will not need to upgrade is weight. It looks like they include some sort of metal weight on the front axles, nothing on the rear. But definitely some more extra weight up front to help get you up and over an obstacle and help kind of keep that front end planted, which is really nice to see. There's excellent value in these little 18th scale Redcats, and they are really great performing trucks. They look excellent. They do very well on the rocks, and there's an unlimited number of upgrades available already for this Ascent 18 lineup. Most of them should work on the Apex. I don't see why they wouldn't. It's basically the same platform. Also, really nice to see a Hobbywing branded brushless setup in there with a 3500 kV brushless outrunner motor. It's a really nice setup, works very well, and like I said, very nice and smooth in the low end, which is what you want. Does it have some sort of FOC? It does appear to have some sort of FOC. That's fantastic. What a great little truck. It must be Friday because there is a ton of flex here. Overall, though, I think, we'll have to see how it does out on the actual rocks and not just my fist. Although it is handling that quite well. So without further ado, let's get this truck outside and see how it does. Yep, it's my backyard. Not quite my backyard, but backyard adjacent. Living in the city, we're always looking for opportunities to get out and play with tiny trucks, but the city isn't always the best place for that. There's a lot of people and obstacles and cars and all kinds of things that can get in the way, but I found this nice little area right by the lake to try out the new Redcat Ascent Apex. There it is, now it's in focus. All right, so just a very simple rocky sort of area, which this should be right at home at. So let's give it a go, see what's capable with this little 18th scale. Already loving the brushless control. Nice, slow, smooth, brushless setup from Hobbywing, very cool. Nice to see that. Lots of clearances, of course. Oops, we should probably tilt down a little bit so we can see this better. But yeah, already showing its prowess as a very capable rock crawler, even at this tiny scale. Oops, now I've done it. That brushless setup, wow, that is really nice. I'm going to try to avoid my shadows so we can just see mostly truck. I think that's going to be the vibe today. And I've never really been down here, so I don't really know any lines. But you can see those portals are doing their job of clearing those obstacles really well. Oop, we hung up? No, there we go, perfect. Quite an impressive little truck already, and I'm just on the first few sets of rocks. Now, of course, I am, doing my best to sort of feather the throttle here and make it do rock crawling things as opposed to just smashing over these rocks. Let's see here. Oh, there we go. Popped up over that obstacle. Servo strength seems pretty good. Nice and quiet. All you can hear are the waves lapping up against the rocks. Ooh. Now I've really done it. Dug myself into quite a hole there. Can we get out? That's the question. Without binding it up? No. That's pretty well... Oh, hello. Found some grip. Can we get that rear tire to just fall in? Yes. Nicely done, me. All right. Oh, we still stuck a little bit. There we go. Okay, let's reposition ourselves here. And I mean, Redcat really did intend for this to be a dedicated rock crawler. Like, this is competition level sort of rock crawling, in my opinion. And it is fun to, wow, see what it's capable of. And the challenging thing about these smaller trucks, and this is something that I think, is pretty common amongst the smaller scale stuff, is that you have to find obstacles that are, properly scaled to the size of the vehicle. Because you don't want to try to overdo it and go over huge rocks and boulders when you just, there's no way a truck could make it. But you find this nice kind of spot like I've found here, and all of a sudden this thing really comes to life.
Now, what can we do here? There we go. Pop it up on the rock. That's what we got to do. Excellent. Now, with fine grip. Whoa. All right, we can save it. We can save it here. I just need a bump or two. That drag brake does work quite well. I wonder if these settings are adjustable. Again, because I don't have a full manual, I don't really know what it's capable of. There we go. Nicely done, me. Quite chuffed with this so far. This is great. And I think this is where, you know, a lot of it comes down to your capability and driving style. What can you do with a tinier truck? You know, is it more throttle? Oh, look at those tires grip. That's great. Is it more throttle out or is it more finesse? You know, what is your go-to style? That's quite impressive. I'm pretty impressed with this little guy. This is good. I mean, the wider axles certainly help a lot with that in terms of its capability, and the extra amount of steering and the larger wheels and tires help as well. But, you know, carbon chassis, small little footprint, brushless motor, good strong servo. What's not to like? Now, can we get out of that? Ugh. Felt like we almost had it. Oh, have I saved it? I think I can get out of this. No, maybe not. Oh, there we go. Saved it. Excellent. Good job. Good job, little Apex. Here's a crawl I'm not too optimistic about, but we're going to give it a shot anyway. Just to see what sort of verticality we can expect out of this little guy. Oh yeah, get up there. Oh, almost. Now again, these smaller trucks are always going to be lighter. And despite having a bit of weight up front, I do feel like it could use a touch more. But I think if we just get it on that lip there, get there. A little more wheel speed. No, not quite. Now I am, of course, doing this all one-handed while I film. So, you know, your mileage may vary. Silent concentration. No, not enough. I mean, this is a pretty high angle for it to try to get. So I'm not really surprised it's not getting it. I feel like it might be slightly foams that are causing a bit of this issue as well. They're pretty hard foams for the size of the tire and for the weight of the vehicle. Well, I think we're gonna have to give up on that one. It was a worthy attempt, though. Oh yeah, what a great, capable little guy. I'm pretty impressed. I'd say if you're looking to have something a little more plug and play, that isn't going to require a ton of upgrades out of the box to get you into a competitive little rock crawler, I'd say the Ascent Apex is probably the way to go. What I'd love to do is actually go to a comp for one of these little guys. I don't know if there are any 18th scale competitions near me, but if you are in this sort of area and you know of some, put it down in the comments below, because I'd love to hear from you. That's a pretty impressive little truck, though, I must say. In the right environments, I think, you know, that's sort of the caveat that we have to remember is that these are designed specifically for this type of terrain. So it's obviously going to do better here than it would on a trail, obviously. It's not a trail truck by any means. But yeah, that little brushless motor is doing great work. I love the control factor on that ESC and all the flex on the... It must be Friday. Although I don't think it is. Yeah, I like it. Nope. Yeah, saved it. Saved myself a reverse. Of course, thanks to Redcat for sending me the Ascent Apex. Had a great time playing with this out here today. Beautiful day. Out by the lakeshore.
What do you think the sweet spot is for these small scale crawlers? 24th scale, 18th scale, 16th scale, 12th scale, 10th scale? What's your favorite? Put a comment down below. You know I love reading through your feedback, and I try to answer as many of those comments as I can. And of course, if you're enjoying this video and you like to see reviews of small scale crawlers, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you get updates anytime there's a new video from the Scale Builders Guild. While I typically don't like the small scale stuff, I do have a soft spot for the 18th scale. There's something about this that just kind of fits for me. It's a smaller scale, but it's still fairly capable. It can do things that a 24 scale truck could never do. Speaking of things that we can all do, you can all join the channel membership here on the YouTube channel, where I offer all kinds of behind-the-scenes content, tips and tricks, how-tos, travel logs, and a bunch of giveaway content as well. So if you're interested in something like that, there will be a link down below. It's an excellent way to share a little bit more of this community with my viewers, and it's something that I think a lot of people get a lot out of. If you're interested in that, like I said, link down below. And of course, thanks to all of these ding-dongs for making that a very big success and a great way to share a little bit more. Thank you, ding-dongs. I just knocked my phone off the desk.
I think that's going to do it though. Thank you so much for watching, and of course, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you get updates anytime there's a new video. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you again soon.